Wow.
Wow, this is some really deep stuff.
I don't know what just happened, but something happened inside of me. Something snapped, something clicked.
I wasn't expecting that
either. Sorry.
It's okay. It's all right. It's beautiful.
Monster is like really small, but it had to become that to stop me.
And then the hurt child became present when you mentioned it.
And I didn't realize this until now.
There were things that I didn't remember until now.
It's funny. I haven't seen that before.
It feels like I'm the monster. I'm kind of seeing images of things. Of a world where they can exist. This clarity brings all kinds of answers.
It's clear. She hugged me and then went back to her place, I guess, in my heart. Oh, it wants to come out. It wants to bippity boppity boop Cinderella me. She's melted into my chest. It's ooey gooey.
All week been finishing things, cleaning up more, started eating vegetables again last week. And it kind of just started happening. It's almost like I just finished going through a meditation session.
I feel light. When you hit that first joint, in the morning, and
I actually feel a lot more awake.
How are you?
How am I? I can at least divide it in two, and there are nuances. So part of me feel really good.
Mm-hmm.
Other part of me feel under a lot of strain.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not going to work on that, but I can at least kind of say it in 4 bullet points. Because I'm very preoccupied, because there's just far too much work to do and far too little time to do it because of their, this is work.
Mm-hmm.
Because they change their minds. And then it's the thing that I'm leaving. I'm supposed to be there on September 4th.
Yeah.
And which means that I have to be there a few days before, because I'm going to sit in 8-hour training myself for 3 days. With 8-hour jet lag. No, and I'm slow, right? So I just need to kind of get there and get a few nights.
Mm-hmm.
But so I sent them 3 or 4 emails now over the course of a week, asking how they would like me to travel and when I could arrive on their budget and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Not a peep. And so it's kind of frustrating.
Yeah.
So I was really mad about that today. And then it's just a lot to do these days. So that is the strain.
Okay.
But that I don't think will work there unless I wanted to work on my anger towards them, which I think is just justified anger. So I don't think there are any kind of any interesting parts there. What I was thinking about, and I don't know how much there is, okay, because I'm just kind of looking at the surface of it. So I can at least put it out there, okay? And then we can see if there is anything, if there are any parts. Can we do that?
Great, yeah.
Okay. So just in 2 words, my weekend was good. That's all I'm going to say. It's a good weekend.
Okay.
So what has come up, what kind of came up for me has come up for me over the last, I've known it forever, but it kind of became present to me how hard it is for me to receive. And it could be like receiving just somebody taking my suitcase and rolling it for me. It could be as easy as that. And of course, and then there are much deeper things to receive, right? It's the broad spectrum of receive, from the most banal, somebody carrying my grocery bag or carrying my bag, to making me coffee, and then to the deep stuff, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not conscious of what messages I get a message I get in the moment. But thinking about it, the messages or the parts in me that what I say, basically, I think is something like, this person doesn't want to do it. He or she's just doing it because they feel they should do it.
Right? Yeah.
I'm not worth it. And then they're saying things like, they will get tired of this, and then they will turn against me, get angry at me. And underneath those parts, I feel there is a deep, deep vulnerability about receiving. It's like I can kind of panic because I have to close the windows because I have to do it myself, because then I'm in control over it. And there are things I can't do myself, right?
Yeah.
But things like carrying my grocery bags, I can do myself. But there are other things I can't do, and so I am. And it's not totally black and white, It's not totally black and white, but there is a lot of. I have these parts that are talking to me. And then underneath those parts, there is something really vulnerable. So what will happen if I let these people do stuff for me? Or, give me things, not give me $1,000, but you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
And we probably can go into it. What will happen then? And then that there is some panic in that vulnerability, I think, because I feel when I just sniffing on it, that there is, I have to make sure that, I'm in control. I have to make sure that I don't get, because something is going to happen.
Yeah. Okay.
And then, and I think that's the part I want to work on. And then, of course, it's the other side of that, is that, of course, no, I won't go to the other side. Just say it in a couple of words, and that is that people like my daughter and my ex, that they kind of give me responsibility for everything.
Yeah.
Because I'm giving it to them, right? Because I'm doing everything. I could tell you stories about that, but I'm not telling you stories right now anyway. But so that's that's the byproduct of it. And
right.
But anyway, so I'll stop right now.
Okay. So the part that feels panicked in vulnerability and receiving.
Yeah. And the messages that I hear is that, they're just doing. Some of the messages I hear is they're just doing it because they feel they have to, or they should do it because it's polite, and then they will get sick of doing it. They don't really want to do it. They'll get angry at me. I don't really deserve this. And then what if I don't listen to those messages, right? And kind of open myself up to receiving, both in the kind of small and the big.
Yeah.
what if I don't listen to those messages? What would happen to me then? That's when the vulnerability, kind of the panic comes in.
Got it.
Yeah. What if I ignore them? Because part of me wants to ignore them, right?
Ignore the helping person, or ignore those messages?
No, ignore the messages and say, "Come on, it's safe, right? Or relatively safe."
Okay. Yeah. So part of you saying it's safe, part of you saying there's something's not right here. They're doing this out of obligation. They're going to tire of this, and telling you that you're not worth it. And then under that is, if I were to ignore those messages, then comes the panic and the vulnerability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, it has something to do. Well, maybe I shouldn't say of course, but I just got kind of two half pictures in my mind. And one was after my mother abducted us and took us to her father's house. There were no adults there. So nobody told me to know when to go to bed and brush my teeth or anything. But so I developed my own structure. And I developed that structure probably to defend myself against the chaos.
Yeah.
So I don't know how related it is, but I got this picture of a toothbrush. I got the picture of chaos.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's like, if I didn't have this structure and took care of myself, then I would be helpless.
Right.
Because I would just fall into that chaos.
Yeah.
So there is something there.
Yeah. Definitely. Okay. So we could try going straight to that part that has that feeling of helplessness and vulnerability. Or we could stop in with what I imagine are its protectors, the ones that say this is safe, or the ones that say they're doing this out of obligation, they'll tire of this.
Yeah, the ones that are saying it's safe is more me mocking myself. I mean, me being my own age and saying, "Come on, it's safe."
Yeah. Okay.
That's that's a part too, but it's not. It doesn't go very deep.
Right. It's not using shame or anything like that.
No, it's more like it's well, it's not using shame, but it's mocking me for being such a. It calls me a scaredy cat or something like that, you know. You know.
Yeah.
And but that part is, well, it has. I've heard that part. Actually, I have heard that part at least since I was a teenager, because I just got an image up where that part came up, kind of mocking me for being scared, or just kind of relaxing into something. So yeah, maybe it is shame. You know, why are you like this? You know, why are you this?
Yeah.
Why is there so much rigidity in you? And I think actually that's probably that's, I think that's a voice that started, I think, when I became anorexic, because that was kind of when I developed all that. That was kind of blossoming of rigidity, because I became just so controlled.
Mm-hmm.
I was so, yeah, I don't know what to say about that right,
Okay.
right now.
Okay. What do you think about starting with that part?
Okay. Yeah, because that part is not taking, well, it wants me to get over that fear, right? It wants
Mm-hmm.
me to get, okay, so let's start there.
Okay. How do you notice it in your body?
So when that part speaks to me, yeah, I do feel ashamed. I do feel shame then.
Mm-hmm.
And where does it sit? It sits deep in my gut, I think. Just kind of,
Okay.
yeah. And in a way, it sits in my eyes too, in the way that it makes me want just to lowering my gaze and not look at it. I don't want to look at that.
Okay. So the way you're feeling towards that part is...
That part is kind of making me feel shameful, and that
right.
I'm weird.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's what it wants to do, to mock you and into making these different decisions and going forward.
Mm-hmm. It's like, why can't you be like other? Why can't you be like other teenagers? Why can't you just? Yeah. I mean, it came up once, and this is. I remember we were at I just got it as an image, and it's not a long story, but I was sitting on somebody's lap and I froze, because that was scary to sit on that person's lap, and he noticed it, which made it very shameful, right? I was probably 16 or 17 then. And I was then mocking myself inside, and feeling, right. And so I got some shame from him, and then I got my own shame, which kind of made it, yeah.
Okay. So the one who feels ashamed and feels like it can't look at that part, see if you can ask that one for space and let it know that we would like to get to it. But first we're going to check in with this one that does the shaming.
How can I separate? Because there is some intertwinement. That's not a word, but you probably understand what I mean. Meshing.
Yep.
Because I can physically, it's not overwhelming, but I can feel that shame. It's
right. Right. Yeah.
So,
you turn to that shame and let it know that you see it and you feel it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
And that it's important.
Yeah, I am validating it. I'm not trying to push it away. It's there, but
right.
Yeah. And I think it's kind of moving a little away. It is. Just because I'm not kind of, just because I'm not pushing it away.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's welcome.
Yeah. I
And
think
the better we can understand the parts around it, the better we'll be able to understand it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's going into the northeast corner.
Okay.
If you hear a sound, it's my daughter practicing. Nobody's screaming in this apartment. She's practicing. She's a soprano singer.
Mm-hmm.
So if you hear anything, I don't know if you heard it. I heard it loudly, but anyway.
I haven't heard it now.
Okay, you didn't hear it. Good.
Mm-hmm.
But if you hear anything, it's nobody screaming. She's just singing. Okay.
Okay. So the ashamed part has made some space and stepped back.
Yeah, it's stepped back. It's kind of sitting in the northwest corner of this room.
Okay.
I mean, I'm in the southwest corner of the room.
Okay. Yeah, you can just let it know that we'd like to get to it. And first, we're going to meet this other part. So, the one that does the shaming, how do you feel towards it?
Let me just give me a sec, because when I have to get out of that digression where I just told you something. Not that I told you something big about my daughter, but I told you a little thing, and why did you do that? But anyway, it's so weird. It almost felt like I said something I shouldn't have said. So I have to get out of that. Or maybe it's something else that's blocking me from seeing this part, and therefore all these thoughts are coming up. It could very well be that.
Okay. I'll remind you that I'm happy to cut out anything.
Okay.
And that I don't have any opinions about your daughter and her performing.
Singing. Yes. Yeah. I mean, it was trivial in a way, but for some reason that became big. But I think it could just be because something in me didn't want me to focus on that part. So then it got hang up in this instead, Yeah. At least that happens to me. That's sometimes.
Great noticing. Mm-hmm.
So feel towards that.
Yeah.
Doing the marking, I feel. Maybe I'm meshing with that one too, because I feel kind of inferior to it. I feel like I'm shrinking a little in front of it.
Okay. Check and see if that is the same, if the shrinking feeling is the same as the part that we just asked for space, the one that feels shamed.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it is. It's okay. So it's not sitting in its corner, coming back. Yeah. Yeah, it is the same. Okay. That's good. That's very good to know. So
I'm happy to make a note
about it.
If it is concerned that we might forget about it, I can make a note and promise to bring that up in the next however many minutes.
Okay, so let's say 25 minutes.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, you can get your turn if you need to. Okay. So now, how do I feel towards that part in the shame?
Yeah.
Well, my initial reaction is I wish it wasn't there.
Mm-hmm. Right? Doesn't seem like it's doing much good, huh?
No, at least not at this point. This point, it seems like it's just hurting me, or not hurting me, but
it's hurting this other part, making this part
Mm-hmm.
feel small.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But if I'm looking at it more closely, I do see that it's protecting something.
Yeah.
I do see that it is.
We can find out.
Yeah, I don't think it has bad intentions.
No, they kind of never do.
Yeah, it feels like it is concerned about me.
Yeah.
And that is protecting me from something.
Okay. Would you like to find out?
Yeah.
Okay. So let it know that you're feeling curious,
Mm-hmm.
that we want to hear more about it. And you can just ask it to tell you anything it wants you to know.
It's telling me that I am fragile.
Mm-hmm.
And that it is concerned about me. And that it is it's I think it's not just repeating what I said a few minutes ago. It feels like it's saying it needs to protect me
Mm-hmm.
from falling into helplessness.
Right. Okay.
And that the only way it knows how to do that is to threaten me or tell me what could happen. What could happen if I give in to something? What could happen if I take in?
Mm-hmm.
What could happen if I let other people do something for me? So it has to kind of hold up the stick, the big stick, you stay away from that,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Is that making sense to you?
Yeah. Just makes sense.
Just let it know that.
Does make sense. Or it did make sense. But does it still make sense?
Maybe we could learn more about when it did make sense. You could ask it to show you about times when that was important. And maybe what it was concerned would happen if it didn't at those times.
Well, it was a time, of course, when I was pretty young and had to create my own structure of definitely was when I was anorexic. And then it was as basic as taking in food. Because if I was taking in food, I was giving in to that. To my mother.
Mm-hmm.
And I could end up becoming a woman like her. And that would be chaotic, because she was just chaos.
Yeah. So it didn't want you to become helpless and just become like her.
Oh no, absolutely no. That was a fear.
It didn't want you to become helpless and not brush your teeth.
Yeah, and just I mean, it was everything. It was like, it was brushing my teeth, it was going to bed, it was getting up in the morning, it was getting dressed, it was making my school lunch, it was going to school.
Mm-hmm.
It was everything.
Yeah. And
It
letting
was
go
like,
of control of that structure would have, well, you tell me.
Yeah. I mean, I needed that structure to exist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
And to feel like I needed it to exist. I needed it to this is weird. It's the words that are coming to me. Being part of humanity. Being doing what other people were doing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Because you could maybe exist without brushing your teeth, but you wouldn't fit in real well.
Yeah, I could yeah, teeth could fall out. But it was that is a small, but we're going to school. That's a bigger one, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
I made my school lunch when I was 7 years old. Darn it!
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and going to school is fitting in with humanity.
Yes, going to school is fitting in with humanity.
Mm-hmm. It's the escape from the chaos in your home.
Yeah. School, school is predictable.
Mm-hmm. And this part would occasionally say, "Come on, scaredy cat. It's safe."
Yeah. But I don't think I questioned it as much when I was little. I think I just did it for survival.
Right. Yeah.
I don't think
that's the beauty of these parts. They come in and keep us alive. Especially when we're young.
When I started questioning it was when it okay, so put it this way. Okay. So I didn't question it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Other people didn't question it because I did what everybody else was doing, right? I brushed my teeth, I went to bed, I went to school, I ate my school lunch, That was what everybody, there was nothing to question there. I was just a quote well-adjusted kid, right? So sort of from on the outside at least.
Right.
When people started questioning it, I think was when I became anorexic, because that wasn't normal. Then I was creating structures that weren't normal.
It had gone a little too far there.
It's gone a little too far, and I lost weight rapidly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, had too much control over over that, and it was suppressing. Control. It was suppressing too much of what other parts were wanting.
Yeah,
and that your body was wanting.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And it makes sense now to you why it did what it did to keep you alive?
Yeah. But okay, so let's...
Maybe just try showing it some appreciation for that. For helping you fit in, get into humanity.
Yeah. And for fitting into humanity and for, God knows, rescuing me by kind of creating this supercontroller.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That might actually have rescued me,
Sounds like it. Sounds like it. If you didn't have that structure, you would have been lost. You would have actually been helpless and in chaos.
And if I hadn't developed that superstructure when I was 13 and a half, I wouldn't have. It was my safety. It kind of. It was. I relied on that to feel kind of.
In control.
Sort of safe and in control. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If I hadn't had that and had kind of given in, I would have done something else. But I don't know what that would have been. There's no way I would have escaped that childhood without doing something. I think. I don't know, but that's what I think.
Was 13 the anorexic years?
13 and a half, yeah.
Okay.
That was when I began anorexic. That was when it all started. And that was when the super control came in. And
it said, hey, this worked when I was 7. Maybe I'll just keep doing it. So
maybe I'll keep doing it, and then let's add something. And then, then in addition to being kind of self-sufficient and being able to take care of myself, I mean, food is a symbol. Of course I ate something, otherwise I would have been dead, but
it's taking in.
It's taking in.
Taking in a gift from your environment.
Yeah. There was no pleasure in food anymore. It was like, and I was good in math, so I could count calories myself. I could count them.
And assuming you weren't growing it all yourself, it comes from other people, right?
It comes from other people. Yeah. Of course, it comes from other people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then there was this mother who became desperate and kind of, and she was the one who started telling me that I looked like I came from a concentration camp. Nobody wanted to be with me. All this to get me to eat, because, of course, it showed.
Interesting.
It showed.
The neighbors. She was mocking you.
She was mocking me. Oh, she was mocking me.
Yeah.
Oh, she was mocking. She was mocking me until I changed my phone number enough times when I was 50, and I haven't heard from her since then. And that's 14 years.
Mm-hmm.
She was mocking me up till that time. When I told her, I must have told her that I was diagnosed with osteopenia because I had depleted my estrogen. She sent me books with pictures of crutches on them. Yeah.
So that was how she tried to control you.
That was how she tried to control me.
And I bet, I mean, it's parts of her, and I bet that they would also say that they were trying to keep you safe by getting you to eat. And you had your own parts that were even greater controllers.
Yeah.
That had different plans and didn't trust your mom's controller.
No, but
but used similar mocking.
And she did worse things like that, but I don't want to just give you a laundry list, but she did even much worse things than that in mocking me.
Yeah. Okay. How are you feeling towards this part, the supercontroller?
I feel like it did well. Okay, so it kept me alive, and I'm grateful for that. It's
Should I ask another question?
Yeah, I was just going to say, but it stopped me from receiving.
Right.
Yeah, now you can ask your question.
Okay. Stopped you from receiving what was in your environment, which was often toxic.
Mm-hmm. But also stopped me from receiving things that might be good.
Right.
Or made it harder for me to receive things that might be good, and made me be very suspicious and misconstrue things.
Mm-hmm.
Because,
you could try. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, because it was saying that supercontroller was saying, basically saying, keep to yourself, it's people don't want anything good for you, it was the super mistrust in that supercontroller.
So you could ask it if you could heal or change the parts that feel helpless and in chaos, so that it didn't have to work so hard in that way anymore. What would it rather be doing with its energy?
Oh gosh, I relaxed. Yeah, I kind of took a deep breath just thinking about that. Ooh, what would it rather do? It would. It is. Yeah, that supercontroller is so tense. What would it rather do? It just wasn't so tense sometimes.
It has a lot of energy.
It has a lot of energy. Yeah, that energy could. It would enjoy itself somehow. It would. I think it would slow down, because it's also very fast, right? It reacts really fast. I think it would slow down and just fall into a really comfy chair and just savor. Just
sounds
whatever it is, it could be. Could be a piece of cake. It could be bird song. It could be just petting my cat. It could be
all those lovely little things.
You're just feeling into them, just feeling into them.
Yeah, and letting them in, accepting them, receiving them.
Yeah. I thought it would be just, turn off turn off the motor, just let this, I don't know any sailing terms, but raise the sails and just sit back.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
It's just kind of with begin. Just be there.
Okay. Some of those words you said were a little choppy. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So I said, just take in.
Mm-hmm.
Just take in, and it could be small. Just
Yeah.
And not think, not evaluate. Just kind of let it kind of roll over me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. I got another question.
Mm-hmm.
How old does it think that you are?
I was going to say 13. It may think I'm older because there are other times, but I think it thinks I'm a teenager. I'm a teenager.
Mm-hmm. Great.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's when it had to work so hard, or one of the times it had to work so hard.
That's when it's kind of started working on overdrive.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's when it had to take extraordinary measures that people noticed. That weren't kind of, she's just a well-adjusted kid, right? Because it wasn't well-adjusted, it was neurotic and whatever it was. It was the opposite of adjusted.
Yeah. Okay. So update it with your real age.
Yeah.
And then you could let it know that in about a minute and a half, you have made an appointment to go see that part that it's trying to protect. And you could ask it how it feels about that.
Hmm. So it is saying that I used to feel I had to shame her.
Right.
I had to shame her.
Right. And we understand that.
Yeah. And now I feel I would like to hug her instead.
Okay. Yeah, she probably would like a hug.
Yeah.
So that's something that we can learn from her.
I wish I could have protected her in a different way, so she didn't feel so bad about herself.
Okay, let's send her that message. It can come from the part, and it can come from self too.
Mm.
That the two of you weren't there for her in the way that she needed at the time.
That part's a little angry. That shame part.
Yeah, angry at
the shaming part. Why did you have to do that?
Oh, right. Yes.
You know how much you hurt me.
Yeah. So I think that I think you can go into that conversation with that part. I think that it would probably be best to ask the shaming part to step aside, go into the waiting room. Because those two parts have been in conflict for some time, and this is trying something new.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you were able to see the shaming part for its good intentions, for who it really is and its story,
Mm-hmm.
and you can do the same for this young part.
Because this part is saying, I felt so bad about myself.
How are you feeling towards that part?
I feel a lot of compassion towards that part.
Okay. And are you all right with her showing you just how bad she felt?
Yeah. Yeah, I am.
Okay.
I am.
Yeah, let her know.
Okay,
Let her know
yeah.
that. Just invite that in.
Yeah. It sounded so terrible, she's saying. I felt like I was this untouchable outcast. Oh, and I was so ashamed all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just let her know you really want to understand that.
Yeah.
You really want to know what it was like. What it was like for her.
Because I was listening to the shaming part.
Yeah. Yeah, it took over.
And I was so scared of falling into chaos.
Mm-hmm.
And being helpless.
Mm-hmm.
So I listened to her, but at the same time, I felt so shameful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
how you
I felt no, because I felt what I was doing was odd, and people thought it was odd.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I just couldn't do anything else.
Yeah. Felt like you couldn't fit in.
Couldn't fit in. I couldn't loosen up. I couldn't eat. I couldn't get. It had to kind of be my way, whatever my way was. It had to be the way my structure said it should be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because otherwise, I was afraid I would fall apart, and I would be either eaten alive,
Mm-hmm.
fall into helplessness. But I was so ashamed of being this way, even if I felt I didn't have a choice.
Right. Yeah. And how are you responding as you see her and get all that from her?
I wish I'd been there to protect her.
Yeah. Yeah, you can let her know that. Let her know you're sorry. You weren't available at the time.
I wasn't. No, I wasn't.
Yeah. This other part really was really strong and took control.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't have to be that way anymore.
No, it doesn't. there is still a part. Well, is this another part? This is just a part inside that part? Because it's still like, yeah, there's something that still doesn't trust.
Right. Yeah, you could ask more about that. You could just tell her to show you whatever she has to show you.
I just fear of being vulnerable because it's so deep. It's so, so deep.
How do you feel about her showing you some of that? Doesn't need to be shared with me.
You know, I mesh with her. That's what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Maybe you can update her on your real age.
Mm-hmm.
Let her know that you do want to understand her and get to know what her experience was like.
Because to her, being vulnerable is being helpless and being eaten alive.
Right. Right.
But I can see that being vulnerable can be something very different.
Yes. Yeah.
It can mean being open and curious
and loved
and taking in, but also being able to say no.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, but
Yeah.
it's being vulnerable means that you have. I just got in touch with that. There is, it's that something in me said, oh, I want to believe it, but at least it said it. So maybe I will believe it sometime. It said, you are strong enough to be vulnerable now. That's what it said. I don't know who said that, but something in me said that.
You are. You're strong enough to be vulnerable and to let parts be vulnerable with you.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to mean anything about what you do in your external relationships. We're just talking about you and this young part right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm
How do you feel?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes,
I'm just going to ask how you feel towards her and how you feel about her vulnerability and the way that it feels like helplessness also to her.
Well, I can see that, and it makes sense to me. right? That she sees it that way because that's her experience.
Yes.
But just now, I feel like I want to show her that it can be something different, that it can actually be something beautiful. Maybe not happy and la 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 joyful. It could, but it can be beautiful because it's deep and it's honest.
Yeah. So just let her know that. Let her know that that's how you feel about vulnerability, and that's how you would feel about hers.
Yeah.
She's already been vulnerable with you in this conversation.
She has.
Mm-hmm.
And I also want to say, I hope that if she does feel that helpless when she experiences vulnerability, that she will let me help her.
Yeah. Yeah. How's she responding to all that?
Because she's not alone anymore.
Right. Right.
She doesn't have to keep it so tight. Because she's not alone. And that was why. Because she was all alone.
Yeah.
Can you imagine falling into helplessness if you're all alone? If you're in the ocean, you'll drown.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, there's nobody there to rescue you.
One thing you could offer her is to go back in her time, in those times when she was feeling all alone, and to just be there for her and be there with her.
Mm-hmm.
See how she would like that.
Yeah, she would.
Okay, go ahead and do that. Just tell her to take you wherever she wants, to the times when she felt alone and helpless.
That was all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was almost all the time.
Yeah, just see if you can be with her in some of those times in the way that she needed someone.
And you and I have been here before. It's not exact. We have been at least with one of her sister parts before. That's a long time ago. When I worked on being ugly, I was 17. And I had to tell myself I was ugly, because if I wasn't ugly, why wasn't I loved?
Right.
Yes.
Does this part have an age?
I mean, she like I said, she was I was 50, but her core age is between 13 and 18, 19.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Oh, those are miserable years. Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah. And are you able to go back in some of those years and just be there for the way that she needed, in the way that she needed someone?
Yeah.
Yeah. How's she like it?
I'm just squeezing her hand when I see as the movie is rolling.
Yeah.
Just holding your hand and saying you're not alone.
You feel like you're really getting it?
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
I'm not doing anything except for just squeezing her hand.
Yeah. If there's anything else that she wants you to do with her or for her back there, you could offer that.
I think she just wants me to be very close to her.
Yeah. How would she like to leave that time and come join you in your time? Wherever she wants. Could be a fantasy place.
Where would she want to go? The first thing I saw was a sandy beach and oceans rolling up on the beach in sunshine. But I know that's actually a common place to go, so I was a little skeptical. But I wonder,
just check it out with her.
Yeah.
You can always just visit there for a minute, try it on, and if it's not right, you can go wherever she likes.
Because, I have a beautiful memory from sleeping on the beach with someone and just going to bed, looking up at the stars, and waking up in the morning and running right into the ocean.
Nice.
That was very nice. There's some comfort with the beach, laying down on the sand that kind of molds itself to your body.
Is that what she wants?
I think that's what she wants. Let's see. Yeah, it feels like she wants to be on the beach, either in the morning or in the evening, not in the middle of the day. It's when it's kind of cool.
Okay. Yeah, you can just take her there.
Yeah.
Let her know that she doesn't have to go back. And that you can be there with her.
She and we can roll out the sleeping bags on the beach.
That's right.
Then we can just lay there and we can look up at that enormous sky.
Take it all in.
Take it all in and just listen to those waves. And then slowly just falling asleep without knowing it.
Not feeling helpless, not feeling over-controlled.
No, just trusting and relaxing like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But kind of the sand is giving way, you're going to sink into it.
Yep.
And there's nothing threatening around. Yeah, that's what she wants.
Okay. You could ask her to look inside her body for any of those beliefs and burdens that she might have carried in her body, and ask how she would like to give them up. Beliefs like being vulnerable means being helpless, being alive. Or that she has to take care of herself.
Oh, she wants to attach some really heavy rocks to them. And then have somebody take them in a boat out on the deepest ocean and just sink down to the bottom where it's dark.
Yeah. Okay.
She wants to do.
Help her out with that. Tell her to do it until it's all out.
And just this is nowhere they can float. Just
right.
Sink. I don't know if everything is out, but a lot is out.
Okay. Well, if you can stay in touch with her, then you can keep providing these things. You can keep, it's kind of like you said, if she does have a feeling of helplessness, she can come to you. If she does feel like she's going back into those times, you can go be there for her. And if there are any of those other feelings in her, you can help her release them in the same way.
Yeah, and it's something awesome about just dropping them in the middle of the ocean because there's no marker. There's no.
That's right. No, really gone.
They're really gone. It's not like you're digging them under a tree because the tree is there.
Right, not just hiding them.
No, and it's dark down there, dark and cold.
Yeah, how's she feeling now?
I think she's smiling. She's feeling better. She's feeling much more relaxed, lighter. She's not feeling kind of wound up. It's almost like there are, it's almost like eyes are rainbow colors. There's some sparkles coming out of them.
Yeah. Yeah, that's some of what she has to offer you with her with her vulnerability.
Yeah. The vulnerability is the color of the rainbow. Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah.
That's so beautiful. Just make a t-shirt with that slogan on. Vulnerability is like the rainbow. Maybe I'll make that t-shirt.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much, James.
Thank you. Yeah, stay in touch with her. That's
I will.
kind of my only other advice, or it's just finding a way to make sure that you two can find each other again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's, I think, long time ago. It was, but it's months ago. We started working on that 13-year-old, but it was from, I don't remember, but it was from a completely different angle. It had nothing to do with what we worked on today.
Yeah, I don't recall working from this angle either.
No, it was yeah, this is new.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Well, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Okay, have a good rest of your night.
You too. Good night.
Okay, bye.
Do you want to help bring more self-energy to the world? If you'd like to participate in calls or help out with this project in any way, I'd love to hear your ideas. Join the Discord server or contact me at james@liveifs.com. A huge thanks to our audio engineer, Yvonne, for your care and diligence in editing the calls. To every caller for your courage in sharing some of your parts. And to anyone out there getting to know their internal system, keep going. Who knows? That might be the most selfless, helpful thing you can do for others, and you're the only one who can do it. If you'd like to see us reach the largest audience, we must please the almighty suggestion algorithms at iTunes and YouTube. And they don't care about the power of IFS. They're looking for likes and shares and comments, and the sooner the better. Follow the links in the show notes right here in your podcast player to make your wishes known. And now, a minute of meditation. Or if you prefer, pull over. You can do it in 60 seconds. Just click one of those links. They're right there, and give us a like or a 5-star rating. It would really help. If you think this project is helping people, you're helping people by sharing it. Thank you.